What is at stake is more than one small country. It is a big idea, a new world order, where diverse nations are drawn together in common cause to achieve the universal aspirations of mankind.
That was President George H.W. Bush using the first Persian Gulf War as a stepping stone for a new world order. But that threat, it still persists today. The U.S. State Department, the Federal Reserve, even the EPA are sending billions of dollars overseas, and many economic and political decisions made in the United States just don't benefit us. They benefit a would-be one-world government. Joining us now is Jack Hunter, columnist for the American Conservative. Jack, this idea has been around for a long time, but it feels like we're getting closer and closer to the realization.
Absolutely. This goes all the way back to Woodrow Wilson, who wanted to make the world safe for democracy, FDR, all the way up through President Bush and Obama, of course, George H.W. Bush, who were finding out his New World Order is getting awfully expensive. I think that's what the American taxpayer is thinking right now.
You know, Jack, I'm inclined to agree. The EPA has revealed that we've sent $100 million overseas, and today they came out rather flipped saying, well, we fight pollution around the world. But does that mean that a pig farmer in America should have money taken from him to help a pig farmer in Thailand?
Absolutely not. And I would go a step further. Why are American citizens having to answer to international institutions and to obey what people who are outside of our Constitution and our government and political traditions, they should be telling American citizens what to do? Let me give you an example of that sort of overreach, that loss of sovereignty we see so often. A number of years ago in the state of Texas, and I don't care what you think about the death penalty, whether you're pro or anti-death penalty, an illegal alien killed someone, and the Texas state justice system decided that that man needed to be put to death. Well, the United Nations decided that since that man was not an American citizen, it could step in and tell the state of Texas what to do. Who sided with the United Nations? You got it, George W. Bush. That's the road we're heading down. We need to have a U.S. Constitution, not a UN Constitution. The loss of sovereignty is something very serious, and we need to keep an eye on it.
Well, it would seem to me maybe go beyond keeping an eye on it. Just think, I mean, here recently, and I want your opinion, it feels to me that we got involved with Libya to help out Europe in some kind of way. Just a week ago, the International Energy Agency says we want to release 60 million barrels of oil. Well, guess what 30 million is coming from? America. You know, decision after decision after decision seems like it's not only being made to benefit a global world, but it's actually being sort of initiated from outside of this country.
Well, that's exactly right. You hear a lot of people on the Republican side, I don't care if it's Marco Rubio in the Senate, Tim Pawlenty here recently running for president, who like to talk about American exceptionalism. Now, when they talk about that, you can assume what we're doing in Libya or around the world is in our interests. Well, guess what? Often it is not. It is for the interests of other nations. It's for the interests of global elites. I don't care if they're corporate or government forms. It's in the interest of everybody but the American taxpayer who sends their sons and daughters off to fight these wars and foots the bill with their own money when we are out of money. It makes no sense whatsoever. And those who pretend that we're patriotic, I'm looking at the Republican side there, your Tim Pawlenty's, perhaps Rick Santorum, to think it's patriotic for us to be in Libya when 72% of Americans, according to some polls, say that they have no idea why we're there, we shouldn't be doing this so much around the world. Who is our government serving? Us or global elites? It's a good question.
Jack, real quickly, because of the programs like this and just the fiscal conditions that we're in, it feels like there's a greater sense of urgency to get to that one world government. Do you feel like the Obama administration may actually be hitting the gas rather than the brake pedal when it comes to this?
It seems like each president, his predecessor, of course, George W. Bush, government got big in this country. Obama's making government bigger at home. I think the dominant philosophy is that the bigger the government, the better, whether that's in the United States or at the global level. To answer your question, absolutely, I think Obama's got his foot on the gas pedal and is going full speed ahead with taking us towards a global government, and that's been the plan from the beginning. Look, this isn't a conspiracy thing, but the idea that's come comes from the progressive left, the liberal internationalists in the Democratic Party, or even the neoconservatives in the GOP, they like the idea of a global government that sort of micromanages everybody, just like the big government people at home like the idea of the huge federal government that micromanages taxpayers. It's the same philosophy at work.
Well, all I can say is buckle up, boys and girls, and hold on to the Constitution. Thank you very much, Jack Hunter. We appreciate it. So,
it's always good to be here.
So who's a better parent?